They say comparisons are odious, yet every cricket playing nation needs a hero, if not several heroes. I want to talk today about the comparison between Pakistan's Babar Azam and India's Virat Kohli. There is still a huge gap between the two, but Babar Azam has been praised a lot in recent times for his performances as a batsman. There is a lot of style and panache in the way he plays. For some, it's a reminder of the way Virat Kohli plays. That is where the comparison should end, because Babar Azam has his own identity, Virat Kohli has his own. But why do these comparisons happen? So there are many reasons behind it. Before I come to them, let me take you through a couple of famous comparisons which came up in the history of cricket and in the recent past, and there has been a lot written about it in the media. It provides for interesting copy, but can one player be compared to another, not only of the same era but of another? Sachin Tendulkar in his heydays was idolized. We all know that. He met Don Bradman, undoubtedly one of the greatest batsmen of all times with the best average. So he and Shane Warne, if you remember, met Don Bradman in the Don's home, and Bradman had invited both of them over. Later he said that, in a rare admission, that Sachin reminded him of himself as a young player. For many Sachin fans, for many Indians, for most Indians who love the game of cricket, it was a huge endorsement of Sachin Tendulkar as a batsman, as a brand, as a legend. But Sachin Tendulkar is Sachin Tendulkar. Don Bradman was Don Bradman. He was of another era. He was a great player. So is Sachin. And that is where the comparison begins and ends. Yes, a certain endorsement does matter. It creates a certain branding, a certain legacy. But beyond that, I don't see how this story can really be pushed forward. Coming back to Babar Azam, former Pakistan batsman Mudassar Nazar, who had a very good record over a period of time, he, speaking on Pakistani television, said this comparison is all nonsense. Babar Azam still needs a lot of catching up on. Pakistan does need a hero, and Babar Azam could be the guy, but let him be. Babar himself is a fan of Virat Kohli, and he said Asian batsmen have the same technique and stroke play. I guess some of our shots look similar. I don't look to compare myself with greats. When I'm playing, I'm not trying to show off or prove any point to anyone. For me, it's about whether I'm satisfied with my performance. Yes, for Babar Azam, Virat could be an idol, someone he looks up to. But he did get irritated recently when this thing was hyped up, and he said, why don't you compare me with the Pakistani legends like Inzamam ul Haq, like Javed Miandad, like Zahir Abbas? Why do you want me to compare with Virat? Now, I think that is where the Pakistan and India rivalry comes in. And it's a bit unfortunate because there are a lot of fans of cricket all over the world who adore players of another era, players, counterparts who may be playing for some other country, for some other team, but they are absolutely adored, and there is this division of one nationality versus another should not exist. But Babar Azam did get irritated when he mentioned that. Javed Miandad, the great Javed Miandad, who's given us a lot of pain at different points in time, he doesn't want to draw a comparison between Kohli and Azam. He says there are two different people and they are different from each other. They play the same game and are successful cricketers for their team, but it is unfair to compare the two. Miandad very interestingly spoke about his time and when he took on India, and he adores Sunil Gavaskar. So he said that in my time there was Sunil Gavaskar, and after that there was Gundappa Vishwanath, but could you compare the two? So then he said the same thing about Virat and Sachin. He says they are both very successful batsmen, but can you really compare the two? So coming from Javed Miandad, it makes a lot of sense. Irfan Pathan, in his peak, because he was a left-hand paceman, and he obviously adored, and one of his idols was Wasim Akram. So instantly there was a comparison between Irfan Pathan and Wasim Akram. But Javed Miandad, being the canny man that he is, once remarked that what's so great about Irfan Pathan? Bowlers like Irfan can be found in every street of Pakistan. That may have pumped up Irfan a bit, because right after that, he was playing in the Multan test against Pakistan, and he picked up 6 wickets against Pakistan. He was very charged up. Then again, in the year 2006, he became the only second Indian bowler to take a hat-trick against Pakistan, and it happened in Karachi. To make matters worse for the Pakistanis, and he dismissed some very good batsmen like Salman Butt, Yunus Khan and Mohammad Yusuf in 3 consecutive deliveries. So it was a bit of a payback from Irfan Pathan, but I again believe that there is absolutely no comparison between Irfan Pathan at his best and Wasim Akram at his best. Wasim Akram is a great, great bowler. We all know that. And his tally, his ability to take wickets under different conditions, we've all seen that. He's absolutely revered. Nothing to take away from Irfan Pathan, who had a bit of a shortish but glittering career, a good all-rounder. So let him be. Again, we can come down to wicket keepers. So the great Adam Gilchrist did speak about the comparison between the young Rishabh Pant, who made a bit of a mess behind the stumps, either through wrong DRS calls or putting his hand in front of the stumps to take a catch. So all of that mess happened, and he was constantly being compared to MS Dhoni, that can he take over the mantle. Now, there is absolutely no comparison between MS Dhoni, who is an absolute legend, not only in Indian cricket, but internationally. He's seen as a great captain, as a great wicket keeper, as a batsman who could really turn the game around. Rishabh Pant is a kid. He has come in. So Virat Kohli tried to protect him by saying, give him some time. Adam Gilchrist more or less said the same thing. He says, let the kid be, give him some time and he'll flower. But I have one point here to make, which is that when a young kid in an important match is playing for India or for anybody else in their own nation, and if there is a goof up, there will be criticism, there will be pressure. So you cannot ask the media to back off, because no one is doing a favor to anyone. The kid should be tough enough temperamentally to take the heat and flower with time. But yes, to compare Rishabh Pant to Dhoni is apocryphal. There was a bit of a reference again to Pakistani cricketer Abid Ali, and he was compared to Sachin Tendulkar. So Abid Ali threw his hands up and said that, give me time and just get on my back, let me play. I'm trying to do my best, which is a good thing to do. Young Prithvi Shaw, when he started playing, and before he got hit by an injury, he should be back again playing for the Indian side. There were immediate comparisons to Sachin Tendulkar because of his height. Again, this was something which he needs space, he needs time. He may be a teenage sensation, so was Sachin, but Prithvi Shaw should be given time to flower, and Prithvi Shaw should be known as the next Prithvi Shaw, not as a new Sachin Tendulkar. Our great man, the hero, Hardik Pandya, was compared to Kapil Dev, and Hardik Pandya said in his own style that I'm no Kapil Dev. Here, I find Michael Holding's comments are very interesting, because he really knows how to pack in a punch with a lot of humor. So he said, and I'm quoting Holding here, I heard a mention when I was working in South Africa that he's the next Kapil Dev. I ain't going to tell anybody he's not going to be the next Kapil Dev, but he's nowhere near there yet. And they need to find someone who can contribute a lot more to this team right now. So Holding killed 2 points. One is that he demolished this comparison, and second, he said that as an all-rounder, all these young guys coming in need to contribute to India winning, instead of these grandiose comparisons with another legend called Kapil Dev. Bringing this take to a close, I have a few points to make. I feel that comparisons make little sense when you're talking about a young player, because it throws them off mentally. It increases more pressure on them. So it makes no sense, except that you rattle a young kid and they start worrying as to, oh my God, whose shoes am I going to fill here? What else do I have to do? So that is highly unfair. It already, international cricket, there is an element of pressure. This adds on more onto them. Players need to have their own identity. No one wants to be known as a second Sachin or a second Virat. If you make a loose comparison to Hindi cinema, who the hell wants to be another Amitabh Bachchan? They all want to be known for what they are, and they want to create their own brand. This is played up by the media because it's juicy, it's controversial. These kind of sound bites, these kind of comparisons are always good for the media. Those questions get asked during interviews. They are picked up during Combox chatter. And, well, it's fair game. Legacy issues do matter because the better players would like to be remembered in a particular manner. The game remembers them in a certain way. A certain respect is given to them in a manner. And that is where legacy issues come in. So individuals need to grow into a particular role. They need space. Before Ben Stokes came onto the scene, I was watching a match where England were playing, and there was the great Michael Holding sitting in the comm box. He had Ian Botham for company. And again, there were some comparisons being made as to England is desperately looking for a new all-rounder like Ian Botham. So Holding killed the point and said, please, it's been over 20 years since England has been looking for someone like Beefy, but it is time they found some all-rounder who can at least do the job. So that was a very practical advice coming from a great bowler. Ultimately, a good player is the result of what? It's a combination of talent, temperament, and ability to withstand pressure. So, comparisons are odious.